Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Sinister here, and welcome back to another SMB3 Randomizer group stage match. We got Group D and H today. We got Japezu versus Paraducks64 versus Craig SMB3. Again, I'll be your host and commentator today, and we're going to be doing this group style. Hammers will break rocks, but they will not break locks, but they will all have end card games. So, that being the case, what's the first world, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get started. Kage wants the reverse world order, and RWO. Diesel wants the world 5. Chaos wants RWO as well, and we got Big Isle as our starting bid. And right now, we need to build a bridge, but we also see a lock. That means that we got two forts here. That being the case, Japezu will strike first while Craig stumbles on Fire Bros. And the Fire Bros is still going to be causing him some issues. Paradox gets through as well. Alright, first fortress of the day. Super Tanks, also referred to as Dallas Cavalry. So, we got some implications here right now. Both TheClassicOne and Craig SMB3 are currently fighting to stay in contention. Meanwhile, Japezu and Paradox, Craig falls again. They are fighting and vying for the top spot in their group, in Group H. So, we got a lot to go on here. So right now, Craig is still struggling, and another hit from the Fire Bros. TheClassicOne is going to get a good lead going up right now. Meanwhile, Paraducks and Japezu are closing the gap between each other, World 1 airship, and Craig will take the first game over, not getting out of that Fire Bro pattern. Alright, let's see what Iggy is. Ooh, Iggy hit the weights today. And that's a 2-hitter. That's a 3. He is now the bully. He is indeed the school bully who actually plays sports. So Japezu will be the first on the board. Paraducks is falling right behind. Meanwhile, TheClassicOne also coming in. So Craig is down. So right now, Craig is having a hard time trying to get a power up before dealing with that Fire Bro. And unfortunately, he's going to have to swallow up. Meanwhile, TheClassicOne makes it through. Oh, mistimed on the jump on Craig. Craig will be stumbling. And because of that lock, that Fire Bro will not be coming out. Next up is the Sky. Right now, they will have to go through Spiral Tower. And here it is. 7-8. Piranha Alley. Usually some of the nastiest sets come out to play here. So, we don't see an Angry Sun. Do we see a Boss Bass? No Boss Bass, but we do have the fire set up. So, right now, Japezu wants no part of that. And he'll be going in and getting himself a mushroom. Meanwhile, TheClassicOne is coming on through as well. Paradox is taking a reset to reset the Fire Bro. Meanwhile, Paradox is only half level behind. Dodging some fire. And TheClassicOne got a good lead, and Craig again hits fire. TheClassicOne going through fire. 1-2 incoming for Japezu as well. And Paradox is now getting bodied in 7-8. Meanwhile, TheClassicOne going through 1-2 with the fire setup. And Japezu is putting on a clinic, having no mercy for fire. And once again, Craig falls to the Fire Brother. It has had his number. And looks like TheClassicOne is going through, and here we go. Spiral Tower. Paradox is going to get through, and he's going to go and see what the item is in this neck of the woods. He hits it, and it's just a mushroom. So, mushrooms are mushrooms. Meanwhile, TheClassicOne going through his Spiral Tower. And Craig is trying to get through. Craig finally gets through. He'll be rewarded with a music box. Ooh, but so far Craig lost almost 5 minutes right out the rip. He's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to play crucial, and hope that Classic One is not on top of his game from this point on. Meanwhile, on the top end on Group H's side, Paraducks is still a stage behind, stage and a half behind, I say, and Spiral Tower. Ooh, he's gonna have to make some tough choices. He takes that stage. Fire is the Nipper set out, 4-5. And Diesel said it best, yes, it is not over until we see done. We have seen people be a world behind and still come back and win it. Because we have the Trial and the Great Equalizer. World 7 and World 8 are still in the pool. Meanwhile, Craig will get a Toad House and he will go against the bully. The school bully. And right now, still a stage and a half ahead. And, lost a power up on the Fire Bro, but he'll be getting a Fire Flower instead and a Jugans, our first Jugans today. Continuing onwards, 5-7 Beta with a fire setup. Or 5-6 Beta with a fire setup. Anyways, though, bada bing, bada boom, very easy to go through. Classic One still trying to extend that lead. Meanwhile, Craig is just getting out of Big Isle. Oh, Paraducks gets nailed between a spike and a fire. He takes the fire. 5-8 incoming for Japezu. First big test for him. Will he get out of this one unscathed by Lakitu? Or will Spike get his revenge? Star incoming! And he gets out of this unscathed and taking Spike with him. Meanwhile, Classic One will be getting through his beta of 5-6. Paraducks is going through 4-5 now with a Fire Flower and loses it immediately. Bullets on the incoming. So a couple stages behind is Paraducks. The World 6 airship. Will Roy be our boy on this afternoon? Meanwhile, Paraducks takes another hit, but intentional damage. It's intentional damage. Classic One in his first test as well. 5-8. Oh, Hankaribo says no, you will be denied. Craig is coming up to Piranha Alley as well. So, Roy is a one-hitter quitter. He's a chump. He is trash. Ladies and gentlemen, what's your next world? And right now, Paraducks is now a stage and an airship behind. Meanwhile, Classic One taking this fight. Not what you wanted to see. He will fall to the Fire Bro. Meanwhile, Craig, 1-2. He's in the sky as well. We got World 6. We got World 1s. And it is the maze. World 7. The trial begins. Pick a pipe, any pipe. Alrighty. Not quite where he needs to be. Let's see if... Craig does get hit, but he passes the stage all the same. Japezu is deciding. And right now, Paraducks is trying to get through 5-8. And he gets out and takes Spike with him. Meanwhile, on the side of the house, Classic One is trying to go through this World 6 airship. Gets nailed, but that's fine. He's still big. And Japezu is still trying to navigate the maze. Craig is going up Spiral Tower. He finds salvation, but unfortunately, it is 2 forts, and one of them gotta build a bridge. Craig going through Spiral Tower, and Classic One takes down Roy. Meanwhile, Paraducks is gonna go and find the good news that Roy is an absolute bum. 4F1 Troll Fort, and that is the reason why we call it Troll Fort. You're always bound to lose a power-up in there. And if it's your favorite one, good luck trying to get it back. He won't be getting that leaf. He gets an extra hit to recover that mushroom, but ugly. That's Looney Bard. Classic One will be heading over to the maze itself. Craig will go to the submarine for it. Meanwhile, Paraducks is coming out of the sky as well. So Paraducks got some work to do. Classic One is in the driver's seat on Group D side. End card, and Japezu is going to take that end card. No match. No match, so 0-2. But he knows where, he got an idea here. Taking the pipe. Meanwhile, Classic One is going to go through. And right now, Japezu's seeing if that was the one that built the fort. That built the bridge, he's good. Oh, Classic One pays the toll. But get your bros in chat. Wolf 5 airship. Are we gonna get the whole concert, or are we gonna get a ringtone today? Put your guesses in chat. Meanwhile, Craig does not get to connect either. It's not a ringtone, but it is a 30-second commercial. 2-hitter. Moving onwards. Craig is coming in, and he'll be trying to finish out the maze. Meanwhile, Craig has got to finish out the sky. Still a world behind. And Paraducks gets to his fort, and that is indeed the correct answer. So he will be getting the bridge. What's next? Japezu's on top of his game, going into the halfway point. Wow, Classic One's going through, and it's Oceanside. So if you guessed Oceanside, congratulations. Meanwhile, Classic One's going through, and hit a lock. Troll pipe. Craig's going through his trial at 5-8. And right now, that is 4-3. So it should be relatively simple. Ooh, gets nailed by a fire bro. Meanwhile, Classic One already up to go, and Spike says no. You will not pass. You have failed your trial. Try again, Chief. This time, Craig will be going in with a frog suit. Still a world behind. Meanwhile, Paraducks will be getting through his maze, getting ready to go on to Oceanside as well. So right now, loses the frog suit, but that's okay. He's gonna have to make a run for it. Yeah, he takes Spike with him, but he gets through. 2-4 for Japezu. Japezu has been looking solid this entire run. Meanwhile, Star incoming for the Classic One. And the Classic One, he double hammered. If that lead for Craig, if that wasn't apparent enough for Craig now, Craig's gonna have a problem. A double hammer. So overall, Classic One is now extending that lead tremendously. Meanwhile, Japezu will be going through Gatekeeper as well as Classic One. Fun fact about this particular version, about this randomizer, you cannot get into that particular door without having at least a mushroom. So we programmed it so that way you will be able to get in there at all times. So our 4 runners right now are both at the gatekeeping level. Roy finally goes down, meaning that Craig will now be going into the maze. Paraducks will be getting his star, and Japezu stumbles. He will not be making the power up as well. Same with Classic One. That's a star. Possible bro incoming for Classic One, and he gets it. We get bros today. Unfortunately, Japezu will not get the bro because he wasn't small, but he still gets through safely. And Muncher run for Paraducks. And it looks like Paraducks might have had a double hammer as well. So he cut the lead a little bit. Here we go. And that's gonna be a bit of a problem. He's gonna take the level. Alright, he's in. So right now, Paraducks hasn't done the fort yet. Meanwhile, Classic One is in 7-4. And because Paraducks didn't take that fort, if that opens up Wendy's place, oh boy. Yeah, that opens up Wendy's place. So that's gonna be a problem. And Japezu doesn't make it out unscathed, but he will still manage to get through. And once Japezu sees that the lock has not been broken over there, he knows that he's gonna skip Alaska. Meanwhile, 7-4 for Classic One again. He must have fell. Thinking about a Jugans. He goes in with a Fire Flower. That's fine. This should get him to the pipe to salvation. Star, good play. So right now, going back onto side D, looks like the classic one is going through 7-4, and we have the maze navigation from Craig. And let's see, Paraducks is free to go. That wasn't required. All right, so Paraducks just stole the lead from Japezu. A double hammer will do the trick. Meanwhile, Japezu's gonna have to come up strong here. Classic One is still has quite the lead going in right now. Excellent piece speed. And here comes Japezu right behind him, taking a frog suit. Let's see if Wendy's went to Wendy's or she stopped at a Panera Bread. No Panera Bread. But she did go to Subway. Two-hitter. Eat fresh. So we're halfway through this seed right now, ladies and gentlemen. What's the next world? What is next? Meanwhile, Classic One's gonna get the good news that Wendy only went to Subway. And so will Japezu. Meanwhile, Craig is gonna learn that Ludwig only had a 30-second commercial under his belt. Though he has Air Jordans, so that's the thing. Oh, hitboxed again. Craig better watch it. He's in there. So here we go. Iced World. So if you was part of the 6th gang, you get your wish. And we start off with 2-2 in Iced World. Meanwhile, Classic One and Japezu not too far behind. Classic One making good note, staying a world ahead. Meanwhile, Japezu only a level behind in this randomizer. Let me just be the first to stress this. No lead is safe. I repeat, no lead is safe. So right now, this one-stage lead gets jugined! Japezu with the big brain play, taking over the lead, not having to take that level, and he is going to be on his way. There's an anchor and Boomerang Bros. Sledges on the other side. So Paraducks took a level and he'll be getting a Jugins. Ooh, this is getting interesting. Star. All right, they flip-flop. So right now, Paraducks and Japezu will get the same items. So they are neck and neck. Ooh, interesting. The 1-5 beta. An incoming for Japezu. Japezu finds the troll pipe. Oh, wait a minute. He has a hammer. He might have a big brain play here. Meanwhile, Paraducks going through and ooh, gets nailed. Here we go. Hammer. In goes Japezu. Japezu goes. He gets in. He will skip. He's a stage ahead, going into the escalator for it. Will he take the ride of shame? He will take the ride of shame. Meanwhile, Classic One, currently still a world ahead, will now be getting through his 1-5 beta. Meanwhile, the 1-5 vanilla coming in from Paraducks. So 1-5 paired up together. Japezu still looking good. Doesn't want a leaf. Looking for a fire flower or a star. Well, he'll have to suffer with a leaf. Meanwhile, Classic One's at 1-5 as well. Craig, despite having to stumble early on with Fire Bros, is looking pretty strong, trying to make his way through, but he has Gatekeeper to deal with. And right now, oh, wait a minute. Does the anchor oh wait, he might have a second Jugans, that's fine. The World 4 airship. Also considered one of the longest airships in the normal game because of their auto-scrollers. And right now, Paraducks is still a level, he's a level and now an airship behind. Classic One is still extending his lead. And, oh, at least a gym membership for Lemmy. So Japezu will reclaim the lead. Now let's see if Paraducks actually has a Jugans. If he does, he's going through. Nope, he'll have to take it, and it is 2-1 with the giant enemy set. Could be worse. What's next, folks? All that is left now is Worlds 2 and World... Nah, I would say definitely Desert Hill, but I'm trying to remember the other one. Probably Grassland? Up Desert Hill, incoming. Oh, he's gonna have to take that pipe. Luckily enough, though, that's there's 2 forts. None of them required. What? Actually, there's 3 forts. Oh, Desert Hill is smoking. And we open up with the Air Force. Meanwhile, Paraducks is only behind slightly. And Craig is trying to get some of this deficit back. But he's going to have to make moves here. Incoming for Paraducks. Paraducks is... Oh, he's going to have to fight this one out. Oh, he's in trouble. He gets hit with the ball again. He's going to have to do this over. Let me at least have them gym membership. And that's not enough. Oh, skipped out on arm day, but got leg day. So he's in. So that being the case right now, that's no good. He's gonna have to check forts. Carpet fort now for Japezu. So Paraducks and Cray and Classic One are both heading over to the 3-forter, the fortified Desert Hill. Meanwhile, Craig will be going to Wendy's just to be disappointed that the Wendy's that he knows has now been transformed into a Subway. 2-hitter for Wendy, so he'll be happy to see that. Meanwhile, Japezu getting to wrapping up the Carpet Fort, getting done with 2 of the 3 forts. He's trying to see which one will open up the lock. Oh, 6-4 with an angry sun, 4-6 with an angry sun. And looks like Paraducks is going to take it in. Breaks the hammer. He's in. Oh, his lead's about to... Uh-oh, hold that thought. Oh, clip through the hammer, bro. Hit a hammer. But luckily enough, he broke that, so he's good to go. All right, so Anchor does have the frog suit, so we're in business. Meanwhile, Classic One's at Air Force. Meanwhile, Paraducks has got through a level. So, Paraducks had to go through a level, and he'll be getting access to the Donut Fort, 4F2. Unfortunately, that's not the right answer. So, yeah, that's a problem. Meanwhile, 3-3 for Japezu. And Classic One, again, going through 4-6. And right now, this is getting real spicy. If you like spice and drama, you have come to the right place. Blood, sweat, and tears. And right now, we're looking at a World 3 airship for Morton. Is it sodium-free? Or are we going to actually get a full dose of sodium with extra sodium on the side? You know what? 5-hitter Morton is MSG. So let's see what we got here. Nope, no sodium. It is sodium-free today. So Japezu again extends that lead. And Paraducks is going to get the bad news. Classic One will probably get the bad news as well. Taking that fort, and oh, he gets nailed by the boom boom on his way up. No harm, no foul, though. He's coming in. Meanwhile, Craig will be going through Escalator Fort. So right now, as I stated before, in Group H, this is basically who's going to be taking the lead. For Group D, this is for their tournament lives on the line here. And the World 1. So there's a lot guarding it, but but I don't believe it's mandatory. I think I only saw one for it. And Japezu is going to go for the item. He gets it. And gets rewarded with another frog suit and hammer, frog suit and anchor. Alright, so he's gonna have to take 2 extra levels. Oh, 2-3 with a boss bass. Well, 100 coins did him a meal. Tune in, folks. Meanwhile, 2-1 on Craig. Classic One will get the right answer. After going through 3 forts, he's going to fight his way through. Hammer incoming for Paraducks. So Paraducks will skip a level. Meanwhile, 6-4 incoming on Craig. Craig has a lot of breathing room because his racing partner right now, his racing opponent, is still a world behind. 2-5 incoming for Japezu. Japezu doesn't have as much leadway as one would believe, especially with a no sodium Morton here. And right now, he's gonna take a bro. Sledge Bros, not the worst thing under the sun. Very easy to understand, very easy to manipulate. That's a star. Meanwhile, Classic One will be going and getting himself into grassland. So will the Classic One. 3-8 with an angry sun. Not what you want to see. Especially because he's not active until about halfway through the level. And the sun is ready to be active. Unfortunately, a little too late. Right now, Paraducks is gonna skip the leaf. Okay. Paraducks can gain a lot of time here if he just goes inside. If he decides to take those levels, yep, he's gonna go and cut some time. Potentially being about 2 stages behind. Again, the Angry Sun makes another appearance, this time on 3-7. Meanwhile, Craig actually came from the brink, and he is now in Desert Hill. Only a world behind, but if he gets the right answer, he's in there. He'll be in it to win it. So that's the case. Meanwhile, Larry on the World 2 airship. Let's see if he also got his gym membership today, or if he decided just to be a couch potato. Oh, that was a leaf. Unfortunately, didn't get the speed. Oh, he could not get underneath there. He failed the limbo bar. Anyways, though, moving on. Larry. Oh, he's working out. Light jog, no good. Gym membership. Oh, he gets nailed. 3. He didn't skip leg day. He didn't skip arm day. Larry with the full body, full membership experience. So, we have now gotten through all 7 on Japezu's side. How many bridges? Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to fight through 3-7. He'll be only an airship behind at this point. Meanwhile, Classic One is guiding on through. And Classic One is still a good world ahead. We got all types of bridges here. Here we go. And right now, Japezu is not going to take a chance on that tank level. Darkness, if you guessed 4, no good. You have been disqualified. Next. Going back in. Meanwhile, Paraducks again, only an airship behind. He'll be going into the Valley of Koopa. And oh, it can be 1 or none. Meanwhile, Japezu gets Scorpion with the get over here from the hand, and he's gonna have to go through this again. Makes it out. And right now, though, there's a couple pipes guarding. So, Spike Fort will be the first one up. Meanwhile, airship incoming for Classic One, and airship outgoing for Paraducks. So Paraducks will be getting into the Valley of Koopa. So he's cut that lead a bit for Japezu. So Japezu's not as safe as he thinks he is. Yeah, I said 1 or less. 1 or less. -1 is less. But thanks for the correction. Love it. And right now, Paraducks is going into the sauna. So if this is going to lead to the castle itself, ooh, interesting. And Japezu's taking nothing to chance. He's going into 6 for it, hoping that block right there breaks. He's going for the clip. No good. And meanwhile, Japezu will be getting that fire suit. And now Classic One is also in. And Craig is going to have to make moves. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to check it out. So, no, that didn't break that lock. Uh-oh. This might be an interesting situation here, because if it broke one of the dark locks, ooh, that might have built a bridge. In goes Japezu. Japezu's in the dark. There's a fort left, and we already know that's not it. He goes back into the pipe looking. Classic One's getting done with the sun, and meanwhile, Paraducks is navigating through. He's navigating through Spike Fort. Words. Oh, he's blocked! Uh-oh. That means that fortress that Japezu just found might be the one. That might be our ticket in. Meanwhile, Craig, 2-3. Sauna Fort. He's gonna get the bad news. That's not gonna break that lock. So right now, Craig is in. And Classic One is also trying to go through and take care of Spike Fort. Craig is beating that level, and he's gonna be going through. And that's a boom boom kill on Japezu's side. Meanwhile, Classic One still got a comfortable lead going into Bowser's Keep. Still a world ahead. Meanwhile, Paraducks is trying to navigate. And right now, ooh, close call. That didn't break the lock. Uh-oh. Japezu now knows that didn't break the lock. So he's going back into the darkness. Meanwhile, Classic One is going through 6th Fort. And now he has to take that fortress. And that is the Navy, where you can sail the 7 seas. So right now, that didn't break that lock either. So Paradox is going to have to go into the darkness and take that last fort, which is indeed Navy. Oh! Rare occurrence in the Navy. He slips off and did not get that bomb. So he lost his fire suit. If he doesn't get another one or can't find one in Bowser's Keep, we're going to have a longer fight. Meanwhile, Paradox is in Navy. He is closing the gap. Classic One is still holding tight. Meanwhile, Japezu is coming out of the pipe. And now Paradox is literally seconds away. A misplay on Japezu, and this could be robbed right from under his nose. Japezu is trying to figure out what pipe led over there. And unfortunately, that ain't it. He made a mistake. He needs to go back in. Uh-oh. Japezu's in trouble. And right now, Paradox got the right pipe. If that is indeed the salvation pipe, Paradox just took the lead. Here we go. And just like that, no bridges, but the lock was but 2 locks were required to get through. Paradox is with a hammer, bro. Oh no! Don't let it end like this. Clips on Paradox. Fire suit incoming for Japezu. It's gonna take a mistake on Paradox in order for him to lose out on race number 1. Meanwhile, Classic One is all but won this race right now on his side of the house. So right now, nope, no mac and cheese. Oh, no good. He can't get it on the plate. Let's see leftovers. No leftovers. And he didn't get the everyman clip, and he's got, oh no! Japezu couldn't get the everyman clip! And now the real trial. Can he get in? Meanwhile, Laser dodges the laser. Say hi and bye, Bowser, and say hello to Paradox as he steals one from Japezu, and Japezu gets the clip with the mac and cheese, but far too late. Paradox will be number 1 in Group H. Meanwhile, Classic One will be going through safely. And right now, he's going to be going through safely. Japezu will have to just go through it the long way. Same with Classic One, but Classic One has all the time in the world. Right now, Japezu and Classic One are still holding strong. Right now, Craig is behind the curve right now. He's going to be going into World 8 after taking care of the full body experience from Larry Koopa. Get your GGs in chat for Japezu. Heartbreaker near the end right there. Meanwhile, Classic One is about to wrap it up. He's one jump away from getting his GG and be winning out on Group D. And there we go. Get your GGs in chat for the Classic One. Right now, Craig SMB3 is going to have to go through sauna. So right now, the fires have been extinguished for the moment. And as we take care of this, let me give you official times. Paraducks, first place on his side, 33-24. Japezu will come in at 34-14. Classic One goes in at 34-31, winning his side of the house. So right now, the struggle in Group H is onward. Meanwhile, Classic One has salvaged a win. He gets one more. He's still in it to win it in Group D and manages to still keep his playoff hopes alive. Let's all cheer for Craig as he's trying to get through. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. I've been commentating for almost 3 years, and that is one of the closest races I've had to commentate in a while. But right now, though, Craig is going to go through that level. The level that nobody took is 3-5. Interesting. And looks like Craig doesn't want any part of that either. So right now, he's gonna take a P-wing. He's gonna get the bad news. The fortress he's looking for is in the opposite direction. So the Navy opened up the lock to get to Bowser's Castle, and wherever that Air Force spot led to, opened up the gate to get to that. Opened up the lock to get to that point. Yes, Forsberg. Both matches have the same seed. It just makes it easier for people instead of having to roll two separate seeds. But there's two separate implications here. So 2 different groups racing all the same seed. And Craig is gonna get the bad news. He is going around in circles. Again with the lock, and he's in trouble. He finds the right for it. But now he's confused. Craig is on tilt mode right now, so we gotta figure out where he's gonna be going to next. And he's gonna take the Air Force spot, which is Spike Fort. That is the correct fort. So that being the case right now, oh, he got nailed not once but twice. He'll get his mushroom back though. So right now, this is getting spicy and rather interesting too, because right now, if Craig wants to get a decent time, he's gonna have to put the pedal to the metal and make sure his routing is good from here on. He's not completely out of it yet. Another win, a win out, another win, not another win, but a win here, and he splits it with Classic One, and their playoff hopes are still alive. English, I speak it. Unfortunately, that he did not break that lock, so he does not get salvation. And he gets snatched. Here we go and do 6-1 and wants no part of it. Meanwhile, Craig SMB3 will be going through 6 fort, and this is not the right fort. He's need to go into the actual fortress and take on the Navy. Right now, he's gonna go through and just, ooh, smooth criminal, make it through that one. So right now, He's gonna go. He's gonna get the bad news. That's not gonna break that lock. So he's to go back in and take that fort. That being the case, we're gonna have an interesting play here. He's gotta go back through. Oh, he's gonna take the darkness. He goes into the darkness, and he's gonna go into the Navy. And once he gets done with Navy, he will then have access to Bowser's castle. And while we're going to finish out over here, we do have another race incoming. So stay tuned. Once the conclusion of this first race, and after a small break, we will go into the second race. Here we go. He gets snatched again. And he again, 6-1, wants no part of it. So here we go. And in he goes. He will get salvation. So far, so good. Craig is now starting to get his bearings. Alright, so he has a hammer suit. He has 2 hammer suits, so he will be able to at least kill Bowser relatively quickly if he can get clips. So he's gonna go for the first one. No good. He doesn't get that one. Takes care of the boo on the candlestick. Moving onwards. As he climbs and ascends. Gets the everyman clip. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He has 1 clip. He is 1 clip away from taking on Bowser. No good for the mac and cheese. Goes to the second one. No good on that one. He's looking for leftovers. No good on that one. And his dinner is now spoiled. He's going for attempt number 5. No good on attempt number 5. He says, bump this. I am going to go and deal with this. Not knowing that there's a laser waiting for him. One last... Oh, never mind. He gets nailed with a fireball. And then he gets nailed with another. So right now, Bowser, he is just 1 mistake away from having to redo the castle. But as long as he knows that hitbox, he has nothing to worry about. There he goes. He's in there. Nah, and he didn't even get the potatoes. So that being the case, he is still going through it normally. Gotta give the valiant effort though to Craig. Craig had a very rough start and tried to bring it back, but again, it was a bit too much from this seed. Let's hope he rattles and shakes it off. Get your GGs in chat for Craig. And we'll have an official time for him momentarily. Official time for Craig, 42:28. So right now we're going to take a quick pause and a quick breather while you guys also get yourself a snack, get yourself a drink, use the restroom. We'll be back momentarily. See you then. All right, Speed Gamers, welcome back. It's about that time again. Race number 2. Implications are on the line here. Craig is trying to survive in Group D. Meanwhile, Classic One's going to try to extend it and try to get back into the playoff hunt comfortably. Meanwhile, Japezu needs a win here to stay deadlocked in first place with Paraducks. Paraducks takes another one. He'll be in sole possession of first place going into his last match. So lots of implication on the way. Hello, everybody. I'm Citizen Sama. And if you're new here, welcome. So, what'll be the first world we hit up today? The second run. Put your guesses in chat. Everybody showing where they at. World 6, the 6 gang is here. The bunch on Big Isle, those who love in the sky, and those from the desert wanting Desert Hill. So we got every type of world being repped here. Here we go. The hashes are correct. The play is up. And welcome to Oceanside. And looks like nobody checked out Oceanside. And we'll be going to Submarine Fort first. 3F2. So this is going to be interesting right now to see what happens this time around. Normally, we see Submarine Fort in World 8, but this time around, it ain't happening. And Craig is taking safety over Speed, so he's gonna be a transition behind currently. Meanwhile, the rest of our runners, dead even. So right now, this is gonna be absolutely paramount and absolutely crucial for all of our runners, as playoff hopes, implications, positioning, everything is on the line here. A win from Japezu here, and he deadlocks first place. The 1-6 beta with fire enemy set as normal. Meanwhile, the Classic One can get comfortable and get back into playoff contention with a win here. Meanwhile, Japezu will be the first to fall. Meanwhile, Paradox is going through it all the same. So right now he'll be about a level ahead. Right now Craig is keeping up and Classic One is trying to navigate and get out. Craig needs a win here to stay in contention for playoffs. Otherwise, he will be in trouble. 3-7 on Paradox's side with a boss bass. Will 100 coins get him a meal? And Paraducks wants no part of that boss bass. He's on the run. Classic One now getting ready to be chased down by the Eaton Machine. Craig doing the same thing. Doesn't want any part of that. And up to the skies they go. Now Japezu is going to go through. And unfortunately, Craig is going to slow up. And a Tanuki is waiting in Cloud Heaven. Meanwhile, Craig will be getting the early lead. Just not an item. 7-7 Muncher run incoming for Paraducks. He's going to ditch the Tanuki. And he's going to make his way through. Ooh, Japezu's getting stopped. Oh, sledge in the water. Alright, so if he can get through, he'll be fine. Meanwhile, the Muncher run incoming for everyone else. With Craig having his first lead this match. Incoming for Japezu with a P-Wing, so he's gonna go in and yeah, he's got the speed for it. Alright, here we go. Paraducks, Sledge Brothers without the water. And a Fire Flower rewarded for Paraducks. So, Craig is ahead. Classic One's behind a transition. So, 1-2 incoming. With the giant enemy set, so this should be relatively tame. Meanwhile, Japezu is on the prowl. He's not slowing up. So all of our runners are in very deadlock heats here. If they're not half a level behind, Paradox actually loses the power up. And Craig is still going strong here. He is playing like his life depends on it. And Classic One goes in as well. End cards incoming. And Craig is actually going to take a detour and go and check out some cards. Meanwhile, it is basically free. Paraducks will be the first to go into Wendy's with the 1-1. So, did she go to Wendy's and order her mind? Or did she stop at a Panera Bread? So let's see. Let's see how heavy she is. She didn't stop at Panera Bread. She did not stop at Subway. She did go to she did go to Dave and just get the Dave special. A regular cheeseburger, no combo meal, and ooh, Classic One gets nailed. But he gets out, and he will be ahead in the Group D side of the house. Meanwhile, Japezu is gonna go through and get through Wendy's. Oh, he's getting nailed, but he's in there. Craig's gonna go for the flame broiled option. He's gonna go and try to send her to Burger King. There it is, flame broiled. What's next, folks? Desert Hill, for all you Desert Hill fans. And French Vanilla. Actually, no, this is French Vanilla in the area, Dirty Vanilla in design. This is where you see the Angry Sun. The only level you get to see the Angry Sun. And guess what? Paraducks one's no part of this. I believe 82 was the other one, but we don't get to see him at all around there either. Meanwhile, everybody's getting this vanilla-ish. Paraducks is now going to take the card as well. So, very closely contested right now, all the way across the board. Star matches, but nothing. Meanwhile, 6-8 with an Angry Sun. The sun is beaming hot in Desert Hill this time around. 2 consecutive levels. Alrighty, so, that being the case here, Paraducks is only but half a stage ahead. So, and reset here and now put him back. Japezu does not need to be losing ground here. Meanwhile, Craig is still trying to keep up, only a half level behind the classic one. Pipe. Let's see. Oh, problems. Pick a lock, any lock. 3-4 incoming for Paraducks. And Classic One gets nailed by a Sledge Brother after getting stun locked. This is gonna be rough. And looks like Craig is gonna take the gamble as well. 6-4 for Paraducks as well. Right now, Craig has actually got a lead. Oh, yeah, Craig got a lead. Classic One's not gonna realize that hammer is gonna do him no favors. Or does it? Oh, he snuck on through, said, nope, I am not breaking any locks. I see a rock, I'm finna break it, and he's in the lead once again. 1-1 incoming, and this looks like the Nipper set. Here we go. Yep, this is indeed the Nipper setup. He's gonna take a leaf. And right now, Craig is going to go through 1-1. Everybody's going through 1-1. Music box for Japezu. And uh-oh. Paraducks gotta be careful. He's small. He gets blasted here. He will relinquish the lead to Japezu for the first time today. And he does not get fireworks. Meanwhile, Japezu gets nailed by a Patui. And gets nailed by a Paragoomba in flight. The World 4 airship for Classic One. He's in there. But Craig is not far behind. Let's see what's up now. Let's see. A little bit of sodium. Low salt. Regular salt. Extra salt. And just extra salt here. No MSG levels of salt here. And Japezu falls at the airship. Oh, this is not good. He'll be an airship behind. Meanwhile, get your guesses in chat. What's next? That being the case, Craig is only but an airship behind. Japezu is only a boss behind. There'll be no World 9s in this place. Big Isle is next. We gotta build a bridge. Ooh, 2 forts back to back. And right now, oh, gets nailed. So Classic is gonna get it in. Craig's not too far behind. Paraducks is going to take an end card, surprisingly enough. And P-Wing 4F2. Donut Fort. Homer's favorite fort to go to. Meanwhile, Japezu is still trying to navigate through, and Paraducks is going to go in. Oh, Classic One styling. And Paraducks gets stopped. So does Japezu. So right now, Japezu and Paraducks are neck and neck. And he gets a Fire Flower, so Japezu's back in there. That built the bridge. Uh-oh, but he's going to have to take those levels. 1-4 incoming. So the bridge is built on Donut Fort. Meanwhile, Craig is going through. And right now, our two runners from H group, from H block, doing the thing here. So, a stage and a fortress behind is Craig. And literally simultaneous, maybe a few seconds difference. And there goes Japezu with an early lead. And oh no! That's the wrong answer! Troll Fort is actually trolling! Meanwhile, Classic One will be going into the pyramid. And with his leaf, he'll be doing just fine. And oh, Japezu falls. Uh-oh. And oh no, this ain't good. Paraducks is, here's the thing. Paraducks is taking this fort, trying to break the lock and hoping he has to take less levels. And unfortunately, Troll Fort is showing why it's called Troll Fort. But get your bros out in chat though, because you're about to get one of those right now. Meanwhile, the Classic One takes the pipe. He gets salvation. He's in. Now let's see this fort right here. And it is 6-4. World 3 airship incoming for Japezu. Meanwhile, incoming for the Classic One. Meanwhile, same thing for Craig. Craig is going through 6-4. Meanwhile, Japezu is going through the pyramid. Iggy is an academic, but not a scholastic level. 2-hitter. And right now, Craig stumbles. So now a half world behind. Now a quarter world behind. What's next, folks? Meanwhile, Hammer Bro fight. Japezu might actually have a lead going in here. He's coming out. And oh, he has a Hammer Brother to block him off. Meanwhile, oh no! Bad moves continue for Paraducks. He has to take another level while Japezu will be going in. Ice World incoming. And that is 3-9. So Japezu just took the lead in Group H. Meanwhile, Classic One is trying to extend his lead for Group H. For Group D. Group D, Group H. Meanwhile, now an airship behind. And then some. Paraducks gotta go and take the coin ship. Now, whether or not this item will be of use, we don't know. And fireworks for Craig, losing even more time. So, now a stage and an airship behind. Paraducks just an airship behind. So, moving on. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Taking the Navy in the fortress spot. Meanwhile, Japezu coming into Ice World for the first time, seeing his first World 10. 3-9 going on him. Meanwhile, our back runners are now both entering the same place. Dealing with the academic Iggy, who's only 2 hits. Meanwhile, Classic One will be beating down his Boom Boom in the Navy location. And Japezu is looking pretty good. Now gonna be a level ahead. Meanwhile, Craig's gonna be 2 levels behind from the Classic One. A fortress and I take that back. A fortress and a level behind. And Japezu is gonna take a gamble here. 2 forts, and that one blocks. Oh, that one's blocked, so he has to go back. He has to go back and have to find that second fort. Luckily enough, it's nearby. Escalator fort in French vanilla. Will he take the ride of shame, or he's gonna be do a thing and take some damage? No, he takes the ride of shame. That door is locked. Japezu now knows that, so one of the forces got to go through. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going in, and unfortunately, that will not be the one to break that lock. So, unfortunate for Japezu, but if Paraducks makes the same mistake, no harm, no foul. Meanwhile, Craig will be also going in. Classic One will be taking down this Boom Boom, taking him to court. So right now, we still got quite a race on our hands, and Paraducks still taking cards and taking items. I don't blame him. And right now, Paraducks is gonna take a card. Yep, he'll be taking some cards. Meanwhile, Japezu realizes, he does realize he's gonna go into the fort. He'll be going in, he's going in, he realizes it. So right now, Craig, no Cloud. Oh, one of our hand stages. The bro dance party, as the LOZ cards would like to say. So let's see what our hand stages are introducing today. And Japezu gets the right fort, gets in there, leaves. This is vanilla. And meanwhile, Japezu gets a star, so he's not going to take the ride of shame. He's going to continue on through. Get through Disco Waffles. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to get the wrong fort. Mushroom. That'll give him some safety. Meanwhile, Classic One. World 7 airship for Lemmy. Let's see if he got the full body experience again, or if he decided to tone down his workout schedule. P-Speed for Classic One. Meanwhile, Craig's in the wrong spot. Gets blasted by a bomb and cannonball at the same time. He'll be taking his time. He's in. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to lose more time. He's going to realize there's a lock on that door. And only 2 forts and taking top side. 3-5 for Japezu. So Japezu will be going in 3-5. He loses his fire suit. So there goes his offense. Meanwhile, Classic One takes on Lemmy. And I believe that was a fire kill. So yeah, that's a thing. So what's next, ladies and gentlemen? What's next? Meanwhile, Craig is in the right fort, but he's losing time. Japezu is going to go and get the free run. Welcome to the maze, folks. And there's a fort waiting. And guess what? See a fort, play a fort. Sauna incoming for the Classic One. Meanwhile, Japezu on side H is going to be having a clear run at Lemmy. Unfortunately, no fire suit, so we get to see that workout schedule instead of him being fired at the gym. And a clip from Classic One just swagging for people. Meanwhile, Craig is not too far behind. Still staying closely contested. A mistake by Classic One, and Craig can come in and snipe it. He'll be going into 3-5. So will Paraducks. Paraducks is now going to be an airship and a half behind. An airship and a stage behind. Meanwhile, Craig is now an airship, a fortress, and half a stage behind. So he is 2.5 back. Meanwhile, Classic One navigating the maze. And I didn't get to see. It looked like he only stayed his behind on the couch. So 5-2. Giant enemy set. No surprise boss bash trying to gobble people up. So right now, Japes has got an airship lead. Meanwhile, Craig is behind from Classic One. A full airship, a full fortress, and now about to be a full level. So this is looking very spicy. Meanwhile, just an airship behind for your Paraducks. And looking inward. Let's see if this was required. 3 pipes. One of them guarded by a stage. Ah, he took a light job. 2 hits. There's a panel 10. There's only 1 fort. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is the problem. This is the problem. Army stage for Classic One. Japezu is in. If Japezu's gamble does not pay off, there's a huge problem. Paraducks, once again, through routing, will take that lead. If Paraducks doesn't realize that, though, Japezu might have dodged the bullet there. Meanwhile, Craig, incoming to the maze. quickly dispatches that boomerang brother. It's Classic One. He'll be rewarded with a fire suit. And Paraducks is taking the sauna. Oh no, this is a problem. Because if that is indeed required, Donuts 5-5 on Classic One. If that is indeed required, Japezu made a huge error and just relinquished the lead. Going down into the depths. Meanwhile, Craig's in the fort. Yes, there's a lock on the door! Japezu just realized that, and that is now a minute gone by the wayside. Paraducks will now be navigating. Meanwhile, Classic One will be navigating further. World 6 airship now. Let's see if we're getting the full concert or just a ringtone. Craig got the right answer. So did Paraducks. Japezu got the wrong answer. So now Japezu's got to go all the way back, take the sauna, and hopefully Paraducks screws up. Well, we got a I don't know, smooth rock ringtone because he was a one hitter, but he had some rock in him. He had some heaviness. What's next, folks? Meanwhile, Craig is not going to be too far behind. He's only going to be a stage. He's only going to be a stage and a couple transitions behind. Paraducks, on the other hand, will be ahead of schedule. So 2 stages behind, 2 stages in an airship. So Craig is still marching on. Here we go. The sky. And it looks like that pipe is required. Now, whether or not it'll be a pipe that just leads him to the other side, or it's going to put him into the sky proper, we will see. Meanwhile, Classic One going through 2-4. And right now, he has that shell. He kicks it away. And right now, Japezu is in, but he just realizes the error. He's in Army now. And Paraducks as well is in Army. This is getting interesting. Did Paraducks goof and died in Army? Because if he did, Paradox pipe. He's in. Oh, but he's going to have to take a fortress to get around. Spike for it. Uh-oh, this is development here. Did Paraducks did Paraducks do a thing, or did Japezu do a thing, or did Paraducks just bomb? They're both now neck and neck. Oh, according to chat, Japezu already cleared a level, so Paraducks had to take Army. Around the same time. So right now, oh, this is getting interesting on side H. Meanwhile, airship for Craig, and now Classic One will be going in further. This is getting interesting. And oh, they both put them to sleep. And Japezu will be going against Ludwig. Get a P-wing for Paraducks. Japezu puts him to sleep. He's going to be continuing forward. Meanwhile, hand level will give Leaf all around the board. Classic One gets the second one. And, the 5-3 beta incoming. So, the flooded fields. So, right now, while Tanuki appears, get your commands in chat. And Paraducks did the side pipe clip as well. So right now, Paraducks is Classic One gets nailed on that side. Well, he'll get away scot-free. But now Japezu and Paraducks are fighting for that control spot. Meanwhile, Craig is still marching along, taking the top end of 4-2, 2-4. We don't normally get to see this. And, nailed by a fire bro. Meanwhile, Classic One's going through 7-8. Piranha Alley. If you want something to go horribly wrong, this is the place to do it. And, Shooter Alley. He's going to have to take the hit and move on. And he gets nailed again! Right as the star shows up. Fort Knox incoming for Paraducks. Meanwhile, Japezu will be taking Spike Fort. Paraducks with a Leaf actually made the right call. So he'll be getting a fortress ahead. Meanwhile, Classic One is taking no more chances. Spike for incoming for Craig. Craig is nearby. Classic One's got to go, and that's a Fire Nipper set. Runaway Dogs, Patuis. Classic One's got to get out of this one. He gets away. Craig is coming for it. Meanwhile, gets nailed. Nailed again is Japezu. Japezu fell by the wayside. Paraducks is now a fortress and a stage ahead. Meanwhile, Boomerang Brothers gets nailed by the Boomerang Brothers from Classic One. And Fort Knox for Japezu. Not what you want to see, but a Jugans. That might come in handy. World Airship is Roy our boy tonight. Meanwhile, Craig gets his Leaf. Paraducks in 5-3 Beta. Japezu gets his Tanuki, required to get out of Fort Knox. Craig in the 5-3 Beta. Roy, one-hitter. No good. He's heavy, too. He got a career. 4 hits. Roy is indeed our boy. 5 hits. And doing unsportsmanlike conduct for Classic One. How dare you? So, one world remains. And Paraducks did take a death. Off camera. Meanwhile, Craig is moving onwards. So Craig is going to still be behind at least a level in an airship. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to be only a stage ahead. So that being the case, with Grassland remaining, there's a lock on the door. There's 2 locks. There's 3 locks. 3 fortresses. Alaska will be the first one for Classic. Oh, gets nailed. He will not be getting the fly strats. Meanwhile, Shooter Alley going in for Craig. Craig's going to take a hit and oh, he pauses. Now what you want to do is you fall to the deep ravine. So Craig is going to be losing more ground. Now about to be a fortress behind. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going in. He doesn't want no part, not knowing that this is a Fire Nipper set. Oh, and he didn't get a power up. Uh-oh, he's in trouble. If he gets nipped here, he's in trouble. He gets out, barely. Meanwhile, Craig is a stage, an airship, and now a fortress behind. That broke one of the locks. This one. Oh, 7F2. Piranha Fort. The worst fort in the game, ladies and gentlemen. He will get a power-up, so he can absorb one more hit. So this is getting crazy over here. Paraducks going through. He'll be taking on Roy, our boy. Meanwhile, 7-8 for Japezu. Japezu is going to be a stage, is going to be an airship and a half stage behind. Meanwhile, Craig clears and gets himself a Jugans. Meanwhile, oh, Runaway Dog catches Japezu. Put that thing on a leash. Meanwhile, Classic One gets a fortress done. Craig's in an airship. And nailed again for Japezu. He gets a leaf, and he made the right call. 6-5 incoming. And now Paraducks is going through the heavily fortified grassland. Meanwhile, Japezu is trying to navigate through this nasty setup in 7-8. Meanwhile, Classic One is still extending the lead. This is a Nipper set, too. Uh-oh. This could be a problem. He flies up. And he's clear. And right now, Alaska incoming for Paraducks. Juke and Cloud for Japezu. And Craig will be advancing forward. This is getting wild and crazy here. And Classic One wants no part of that level. And he'll be going into 6-6 instead. Oh, the worst level in the game. This is test if you're good or not, as some would say. Big Bertha says, no, you don't want that. I will take it from you. Meanwhile, Craig's in Alaska. Japezu's taking Roy, our boy, and he's stuck. He's stunned. And he gets out barely. Meanwhile, Paraducks is in 6-5. Looks relatively tame right now. Ooh, good maneuvering. Classic One will begin now to 6-6. You got one last challenge. What awaits him? Meanwhile, Craig will get to Alaska. Runaway dog, that is as free as it gets. And right now, bro suit. And that's just a regular boomerang, bro. Simple as pie. And a frog suit incoming from Japezu, according to due to his Finnish pronunciation. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going through Air Force. And Larry is in World 5's airship. Let's see if he got the full experience. Alright, Larry. One hit. Not enough. He got the gym membership. That's 3 hits. He did not skip leg day. That's 4 hits. He got the full body experience. He did not skip anything. 5 hitters. But you already know what's about to happen. The Classic One finishes his first 7. He is now about to hit the Valley of Koopa. What's the bridge count? How many bridges? Meanwhile, Craig gets nabbed at 7F2. Piranha Fort. Meanwhile, 6-6 for Paraducks. And now Japezu, I'm gonna have to get accustomed to that. I do apologize, chat. Is gonna have to go through the Piranha Fort as well. We got all different types of bridges. 2, 4, 1, -1. Let's see from the initial layout. 3-pipe Monty. Here we go. And Craig's gonna have to fight through fire. We got 2 locks already at the gates. So 2 or less, folks. 2 or less. Meanwhile, Craig is trying to navigate through this crazy foot who wants to act the fool. Pipe in. And Craig navigates. Oh, squeeze play between 2 locks. That's not what you want to see. That's a level. Taking the Air Force spot. 5F1, the forgettable fort. Meanwhile, Japezu is going to continue onwards. Paraducks is now at the airship as well. So, Japezu is a half world behind. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to go in and get the full body experience with Larry. Craig is going to get himself a leaf so he can clear this level. So right now, 2 was not the right answer. Well, 4 and 3 were not the right answer. 2 can still be it. Oh, taking the fortress spot here. The cavalry of Bowser's glorious army. Super tanks. Meanwhile. Oh, Craig getting a little cheeky over there. Killing the spiky. And moving on. Meanwhile, Paraducks on Group H is now getting his service announcement of having his pet both neutered and or spayed as he moves on. And yep, Classic One's taking no chances. Taking the Navy spot, which is in fact Carpet Fort, 6F3. So right now, 3-pipe Monty. Paraducks is going in. Air Force incoming for Craig. And right now, oh, relatively calm elevator this time. No frantics, no extravagance. So he gets out of that fort, provided he beats Boom Boom. Meanwhile, the forgettable fort incoming for Paraducks. A Jugins from Japezu gets him back in there. And unfortunately, Craig had to take all 3 fortresses. He does skip the level. He puts the Hammer Bro to sleep. He does cut some time in. But right now, though, this is what's for breakfast. Is that pipe required? Is that fort required? Let's see. Oh, the runaround. That means his entrance might be back in the dark, or in the middle of that, or in the middle. Here he goes. Nope, that brings him back. That means he's got to fight in the dark. Craig has a shot. Paradox is also going to be going into the darkness. Into the pipe is Classic One. Only 1 bridge now. So right now, Oh, Craig is roundabout. Is he gonna have to take some levels? Oh, he's lost. Paraducks is in carpet fort. Meanwhile, Japezu is in. And right now, Craig, once he gets his service announcement, he can probably steal this if he knows where to go. But the gatekeeper blocking the door. If that is indeed the one, because all the other forts have been known. If that is the one to stop Bowser's castle. Oh, there's a problem. And Mushroom incoming for the classic one. And he'll be getting his Fire Flower, so he'll be guaranteed to get in now. And meanwhile, 5-7 Beta incoming for Japezu. Meanwhile, Gatekeeper for Paraducks. If Paraducks is guessed right, and Japezu falls to fire. Japezu is all but the nail in the coffin if this is indeed the one to lead to salvation. Meanwhile, Craig's unforgettable for it. Star. This will speed up the process a little bit for Classic One. And Classic One will speed up a little bit. Meanwhile, Paraducks is going to take the slow ride to Boom Boom. Alright, here's salvation. The pipe is in. Door is locked. Let's see if this bridge is involved. Oh, there was a bridge involved. Paraducks might be in trouble. Paraducks is in trouble. He needs to build a bridge. Meanwhile, Classic One will be the first inside our castle. Misses a skip. Craig, unless Classic One has the worst Bowser's castle in his life, Classic One will be taking this. But we will wait until the .gg. Navigating through. Craig still in there. Meanwhile, going through super tanks will be Paraducks. Going into easy one clip mac and cheese. So 35 fireballs is required for Bowser. Japes is making a move. He's gonna have to hurry. And here we go. There's the bridge. Paraducks is gonna take two, provided he gets going. He has a fire suit. As long as he doesn't lose it, he got it. Get your GG for Classic One. Classic One will be the first in and take 2-0 victory in the Group D side of the house. Meanwhile, Craig will be going through the Gatekeeper. We had an official time of 36:47 for Classic One. And with that, he now has points on the board, keeping his playoff hopes alive. Meanwhile, Paraducks right now is in Bowser's castle. Meanwhile, Japezu is currently dealing with the Gatekeeper. Nasty fireball set from Paraducks. Is there a laser? No laser. Bowser said, come on in, let's fight. 35 fireballs. All is required for Paraducks. Oh, he's going to have to take this one, take a little longer. Meanwhile, star for Japezu. He will get the cycle. He will get the half cycle in. Paraducks is still firing. He jumps up high, and he gets it. Get your GGs in chat for Paraducks. Meanwhile, Craig did not get he did not build the bridge. He's going to have to go to Super Tanks and take care of it. So, Paraducks with great decisioning routing will take this, and Japezu will fall. Official time, 37:52. Absolutely maddening. Paraducks is currently in sole possession of first place in Group H. Meanwhile, Classic One keeps his playoff hopes alive with a win on that side. Craig, having decent times, he'll be going into the Valley of Koopa. Well, going into the keep of Bowser, basically his castle. As long as he doesn't get nabbed, he takes a P-Wing. Here we go. Meanwhile, Japes is also going to be going on through. He did not go and finish through the pipe. Meanwhile, Craig's going in. Now, and he didn't get nabbed as well. Times of all the essence here, the faster they finish, the better their likelihood of them getting into one of the 2 coveted wildcard spots. As there's 24 spots that needs to be filled, 22 of them will be given to the first and second place from A through K. The last 2, best time and records, will be observed, and those will be the last 2 to fit in. Meanwhile, Craig will be going and taking on his Bowser. Hey, Paraducks, how you holding? Good job out there.
Hello, GG's. This was interesting.
It was. Surprisingly enough, Paraducks, you stole game 1.
Yeah, I heard World 8 saved me in the first race, which was terrible for me. My start was just bad. I had to play aggressively at the end.
Well, let's get your GG's out for Craig. Craig has finished his race. We'll get a time from him momentarily. Meanwhile, Japezu will be going through and getting down his Bowser. So, official time for Craig. 40:09, and Japezu falls to Bowser and then gets snatched. He wants no part of that. So, Paraducks, how does it feel to be in sole possession of first place in your group right now?
I mean, as always, it feels great. I don't think I've on each tournament I've participated. I've been into brackets, so I don't think this will change this year. I'm feeling good.
Indeed. Meanwhile, we have our Group D runners in here, both Craig and Classic One. Congratulations on your runs today. How y'all guys holding?
Yeah, good, thank you. GG's Classic.
Is this thing really on now?
It's on. We hear you.
Thank you.
So how you holding, Classic One?
I apparently have found the secret to playing SMB3 Randomizer, at least for me. Go out the night before, get completely smashed, and have a really bad hangover and play like that. That's how you do it!
You heard it here, folks. Get wasted, and then go and play a tournament match, apparently.
That was one of my best performances ever, I think.
Well, apparently, liquid courage and alcohol manages to win games. I might need to try that in the future.
I won't spoil any surprises if you want to rewatch that race classic, but just watch the first 5 minutes of the first race, and then you'll understand the reason why my time was quite far behind yours.
It's randomizer.
It's randomizer.
Yeah.
I mean, my first 5 minutes wasn't better, I think, the first race.
All I gotta say is I don't like hammer bros, especially fire ones when you're small.
Well, incoming for Japezu. So right now, the final times: Classic One 37:49, Paraducks 37:52, Craig 40:09, and Japezu 42:30. So right now, you guys have at least one race left for each of you. What's going to be your mindset going through now, seeing where you guys are sitting on your groups?
Well, I think for me, it's probably going to be difficult to get into the bracket, so I'm probably just going to concentrate on the lower end of the other tournament.
So you'll be focusing down on Challenger Cup then?
Yeah, I think it's probably realistic. Also, I don't want to make excuses, but an hour before I went to put in my turn on my computer, my A button decided it wanted to be my up button, and no matter what I did with my controller, I couldn't do anything. So I had to change my controller completely, and I must have missed about 20 aim presses because I wasn't used to the controller. But anyway, I still don't think I would have won, but just to add context to that first race, I did have a lot of deaths.
Makes sense. What about you two, Paraducks and Classic One?
For me, might as well go 6-0. Try to go 6-0 against the Gimmick. I know he's good, so it'll be an interesting match.
What about you, Classic One?
I'm gonna play with my controller upside down.
Oh, I see how it is. So, knowing what you guys have known now, any last word from you guys? Any thanks? Any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, thanks, Sinner, for the comms, and thanks, SpeedGaming, and yeah, GG's for the race winners, Paradox and Classic.
What about our other two? Anything else?
Well, as always, thanks to SpeedGaming and the commentators.
Yeah, definitely GG to everyone. It was a very nice race, and thank you, Paraducks. Every time.
You cut out over there, Classic
Yeah.
One. I think we lost Classic
No,
One.
Am I on now? Can I be
You're
heard
on now. Yes, you can.
Yeah, lovely RNG always. But what I was saying, GG to everyone. It was a nice race, and saying thank you to Paraducks, because every time he's in the same race room as me, I always seem to play better. I don't know.
The competition, I guess, I don't know.
Did anyone come across 5-9 or Atlantis?
No.
Or was I lucky enough to skip it all?
Nobody came across it. I don't think anybody came across it.
I don't think, yeah. Even 7-5, I haven't seen this.
The worst y'all saw was 6-6 today, and there was only one occurrence of it. So, yeah. So, with one last race today in SpeedGaming Prime between Pro A007 and Sharky2107, that'll be done by LZ Cards and whoever else decides to sign up with him. So, on behalf of all the SpeedGaming networks, and for us runners as well, for all the runners as well, I am Sinister Sama, telling you, be safe out there. Make sure you go and check out the final race at 7 p.m. tonight on SpeedGaming Prime. And you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.